everybody knows this by now. GVEEZ has been arrested for Tupac's murder. GVEEZ has gone on multiple interviews, and he even wrote a book about how he was in the car where the shots came from that killed Tupac and grazed Suge Knight. Okay? Now, GVEEZ had immunity in LA, right? Greg Kading, the detective, you know, he worked GVEEZ real good. So they was trying to put him in jail forever for selling drugs. And they were like, yo, if you tell us what happened in the Tupac's murder, we'll let you go, okay? And you have immunity. He started talking. He started spilling everything, okay? So for the longest, he thought he had this immunity so he can go on and talk about the murder and get away with it. Now they got him in Vegas. Now the tricky part is he told Greg Kading that he had a conversation with Diddy where Diddy wanted him to take care of Suge Knight and Tupac, and they talked about money. So if they arrest GVEEZ in Vegas about Tupac's murder, right, based on what GVEEZ said out his mouth, right, why would Diddy not be summoned in court? Why would Diddy not be subpoenaed? Because you can't say part of his statement we're not gonna regard it, but we're gonna regard a different part of the statement. If you're gonna hold his whole statement as true, then part of the statement that he made was that essentially he was hired by Diddy to take care of Suge Knight and Tupac. And when the Vegas murder happened, Diddy called him and said, was this us? Us as in me, Diddy, and the Southside Crips. Was this us? And GVEEZ confirmed, yes, this was us. And there was money that was supposed to be given to GVEEZ. And if you've been following the story, the money never got to GVEEZ. But still, they can still implicate Puff as an accomplice. And if GVEEZ goes and sings in court and says, Puff is the one that hired me or hired us to do this, what happens to Puff? You know? Like, I feel like the role Puff can play is, you know, Puff got great lawyers. They're going to say GVEEZ is not a credible witness because he's perjured himself before in court. And GVEEZ, I guess, can also say, if they're able to, behind the scenes, GVEEZ can say it was all for entertainment. Either way, GVEEZ is effed. He's effed. You know what I mean? Now, Puffy has to figure out a way to save himself, you know? But I would be very surprised if they're able to convict GVEEZ based on what he said without Puffy getting in any trouble or getting summoned, subpoenaed. You know? When what GVEEZ has been saying includes Puff Daddy and implicates Puff Daddy. Now watch the video on my YouTube where Greg Kading, you know, breaks down exactly what GVEEZ told him when they were recording him and proposing the immunity, you know, when he was essentially snitching to them.
So he had aligned himself with these Crips because they had they were kind of the natural enemies of Suge Knight and people from Death Row.
Okay, so at this time, Puff is stressing about everything. He's got everything, you know, he's worried that something's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So then, what happens at the second time he actually gets serious with GVEEZ?
Well, the second time, I believe, was at Greenblatt's up on Sunset, and GVEEZ says that Puffy pulled him aside and basically solicited his assistants to take care of Suge, and of course Tupac's name came up, and he was kind of added to the list according to GVEEZ, and that's when there was a kind of a very vague discussion over money, and next thing you know, Las Vegas happens.